Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, July the 14th until the 18th. Let's see what we've got this week. Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. I believe I said that right after someone helped me the last time I talked about this game. It's coming in both a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, and it is a 3 vs 3 fighter from Arc System Works, who are usually good for the money. Although this is an anime license, so I do wonder if they put as much effort into it compared to their own IPs. It won't surprise you that I am not wholly familiar with this manga or anime, but let me know, is it worth watching, and are you excited about the very first video game surrounding it? Well, my executive producer, Big Bruno, he is, because it is his pick of the week. Shadow Labyrinth is releasing on Nintendo Switch 1 as a proper cartridge, whereas there is also a Japanese release on Nintendo Switch 2, but it is a code in a red box bullshit. It's like a triple helping of face slappage in that regard, but at least the game itself looks pretty cool, and at least Bandai are releasing the Switch 1 version physically in both North America and Europe. America was not abandoned this time. This is the power of Pac-Man. Yes, this is a twisted action-adventure game that's based on the Pac-Man franchise, kinda. Very edgelord-like. That reminds me of the time Bomberman went grimdark. However, this one actually looks like a really solid release, and it's also releasing on Xbox and PS5, but the Switch 1 and PS5 editions are also getting a collector's edition. And my executive producers, Alexander Cato, Josh Foote, Super Ben Julio, Michael Del Polito, Old Man Murphy, Sora Cat Wixit, and Dave Huswaite have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it or any of the retail games in this video, please consider purchasing via the links in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps me out and this series, this channel, to keep producing useful physical content for you guys. VGP are a really good company with cheap prices in Canadian buckage and free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian dollars, which is like 53 American dollars. Plus, each week, if you buy something, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Vincent P. Congratulations, Vincent. You should get an email from VGP with your discount code if you haven't already. You should get it very soon. Bustafellows Season 2 is releasing this week in both North America and Europe on Nintendo Switch, the sequel to a rather popular Otome visual novel which came out a good few years ago now. This is the first time this sequel has been in English, and response from the Japanese readers so far has been very positive, maybe even better than the original. If you want a VN about crime, then this could be one to take a look at. And my executive producer Rose has chosen this as her pick of the week. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Daima Edition is releasing in North America and Europe this week, but don't get too excited though, since the cartridge only includes the original Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, whereas the Daima Edition is a download voucher. Lovely. So if you already own the base game and you actually care about physical proper stuff, this will be no different to the one you already have. You might as well just download the DLC as an update when it's discounted, which it will do because it's Bandai. They're always cheap. Adventure Bar Story is releasing in North America this week on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. This is quite an old game. I remember it being mildly popular as a download title on the 3DS, and it certainly has an air of Kemco about it, especially since the developer, Ridion, is one of Kemco's primary developers for their budget RPG series. But this one always did stand out, not massively though. I find it strange it's not a double pack with its sequel, Meridian Tavern Story. That would have been a much better package, but they have different publishers sadly. But my executive producers, Lewis K and Nerdy Sean, have chosen this as their pick of the week. DREDGE Complete Edition is releasing in North America this week. This is the third release of the game, but I think it's pretty much the same as the last one, just without the collector's edition stuff, I think. It's just a standard box and includes all the DLC on the cartridge. It's a very well regarded indie game, a fishing mystery adventure with horror elements, a good one to pick up if you don't have it already. And my executive producers, God of Resin, Thorn Metal Luna, and Danielle O have chosen this as their pick of the week. Those games, 1 and 2, is releasing in North America this week on Switch and PS5. This already released in Japan last year, I think, and I'm really surprised this is getting a Western physical. If this can get a retail release in North America, I think anything can. Don't let any company convince you otherwise. It is a collection of those fake mobile game ads that you see, but they actually made them like proper games. You know the ones I'm talking about. And my executive producer, Kaba Clavacol, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition. A quick mention to this, which I think finally should be getting its North American standard release this week. It keeps getting pushed back and keeps getting sold out. I mean, how hard can it be to buy Worms in North America? I don't know. Donkey Kong Bananza is releasing physically this week on Nintendo Switch 2 exclusively. It's Nintendo's second massive title for their new system after Mario Kart World, and it is the game they are hoping to help emulate the same kind of success that Super Mario Odyssey did back for the Switch 1. It's made in the same kind of mold. When it was first revealed, there was a bit of apathy towards it, but I've heard that since the Direct, people are now massively on board with this. I didn't watch the DK Direct, I prefer to go into things blind. I hate being spoiled, so I guess I'll have to find out for myself. This is DK's first major release in a good long while, and it's cool to see Nintendo are betting on him rather than what would be a much easier sell in Mario. But hey, maybe they're playing the long game with this one. Maybe in 10 years, DK will be as popular as Mario, who knows. And my executive producers, The Nemo 6, Jennifer M, Precision Plague, Alex M, Dane Wilkinson, Jake Vav, Ishin, Cartoon Soren, Ghost Bune, Azrath, Vey, Adamantium, Instacritic, Jeddah Crow, Cookie Kid, and Vast Neon have chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, let's jump into the low print limited releases, but before I do, if you're new here and you like physical media, subscribe to this channel. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise you. Dezatopia and Mecha Ritz is up for pre-order at Strictly Limited Games right now. Wait, what? Didn't they already do this? Yes. Didn't they already fail to make those? Yes. But that's where the need for money comes in. So this game sold out pretty quickly when they first put it for pre-order, like years ago at this point. They've taken a long time to print it, but it is coming at the end of the summer, and they found the opportunity to make a third cover version for those who missed out on the original. And to be fair, there were a good few people who wished they could have grabbed this originally. Well, now is your second chance with a new cover version for the standard and limited edition. This is a shmup double pack, both very good games, for a total of an extra 2,000 copies being made available between the standard and limited edition. And my executive producer, Radio to Rancid, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Octodad Dadliest catches the first game this week from Limited Run Games. It's a bit of an oldie, and I don't think it's much of a goldie. Octodad is a game of its time, an indie hit that was fun and gimmicky back in the day, as you control each individual limb of an octopus masquerading as a human. It's a comedy game that I played way back on the Wii U, and it was cute for the time, but I think indie games have moved on somewhat. I would not want to play this again, that is for sure, but if you do want to, you can pre-order the standard edition on Nintendo Switch on Friday. Mamorukun Curse is their second game, but this is just a distribution title. It's also releasing elsewhere in the world, like everywhere. It's a pretty cheap looking shmup, but it is a Japanese arcade title from 2008, which is fun to think they were still, going at arcade shmups back then. I heard it's a pretty good one despite the visuals that are on show. For some reason, shmups need to look cheap and plasticky these days. Can anyone explain what happened to pixel art? Did the artists become too expensive or something? You can pre-order this on Switch and PlayStation 5 in a standard or collector's edition on Tuesday. Alright, the import section. If you want to purchase any of these, you can do so via the Play Asia links and get 5% off if you use my discount code Jordan2025. Astrea 6-Sided Oracles is releasing in Asia this week, and it will be a fine option if you missed Super Rare Games' version. Oh wait, that's still in stock. You haven't missed it, you just didn't buy it. And that is $50, whereas this Asian release is like $40 if you use my discount code. This Asian release will play in English, and there's also a Japanese version coming later in the year too. Definitely not my kind of game, but it looks like one that would be very popular, and it's certainly got a very catching art style. And my executive producers, Robotech, These Nuts, and Surfacing for Air have chosen this as their pick of the week. Japan and Asia are getting these, and we either have them already, like the first two, or the last one, which we don't have, but it doesn't have English, so yeah. Whatever. Alright, that's it. I'm not going to do a community spotlight this week because I have been working this weekend and I have been incredibly busy and very tired. So I'm going to have a little bit of rest, okay? I've still got your photos. You don't need to send anything in, even though I'm sure I'm going to get a slew of DKs by Friday. But yeah, Community Spotlight will be back next week, I promise you. And apologies, but you know, I just need to have a little bit of rest, okay? Have a great week, and I'll see you when I have another video, which might be soon. We'll see. Take care.